Route 66, Route 66. We'll drive around the classic cars, pick up chicks and biker bars. It doesn't matter where we are, as long as we're on Route 66, Route 66.
Okay, Insane Sam Allen here again, and I'm about to guide you on the third day of your 10-day Route 66 party tour. You're going to go from Cuba, Missouri to Joplin, Missouri. Missouri is my favorite state to ride on Route 66, and you saw some of the reason why yesterday between St. Louis and Cuba. The Ozarks are fantastic. But before we get going today, let's get you this segment's directions. Because even though there's Route 66 signs all over the place, they can be inaccurate or confusing, and without a good set of directions, you're going to get lost. So, go to Route66MC.com, go to the right-hand column in the home screen and find Get Directions. Put in Cuba in the Leaving From box and Joplin in the Heading To box. Click on Directions, and turn-by-turn directions between those two towns are going to pop up. With that finished, let's get going. The first town west of Cuba is Fanning. This is just a bump in the road, but there's a photo op there. There's the Route 66 Outpost and General Store that has the world's largest rocking chair, which is over 40 feet tall. I'm pretty sure you can climb up there and sit in it. The next town is Rosati, which is known for vineyards. Sometimes they call it the Little Italy of Missouri because of the Italian heritage of its founders. St. James claims to be known for its wineries too, but I know it because of Johnnies Bar. This is the kind of place I knew I'd like before I ever walked in. There's a notice on the front door listing about 20 people who've been banned from entry. I asked the bartender what you have to do to get banned. Apparently fighting is the big banning offense. And there must be some rough chicks at Johnny's because about a third of the people on the list are women. Johnny's is a smoky, old-school bar with super cheap prices. If secondhand smoke really affects bystanders, you can get lung cancer just by hanging around in this place. I'll bet the most popular song they have in the jukebox is Smoke Gets in Your Eyes. Pool is popular and everybody has their own pool cue in there. Now, I'm not a good pool player, but I can win in bars a lot of times because so many players in them are more interested in looking cool than sinking balls. That's Johnny's. Every shot is slammed into the attendant pocket as hard as possible. It's like watching pinball instead of pool. But this is a good spot and I go there all the time when I'm in this part of Missouri. The ride from Rolla is entirely on the I-44 frontage road, but don't try to make up time by getting on the highway. You'll miss a lot. It covers a hilly and curvy terrain that's a lot more fun to ride than the interstate. Also, be on the lookout through here for the Murdon dripping water sign. It's like a giant pipe with water that comes dripping down. Downtown Rolla has the 1860 Phelps County Jail, which was used by Union forces in the Civil War. It remained in use as a jail till 1912. On the way out of town, check out the Totem Pole Trading Post. It's been in business since 1933 and has been at its current location since '77. On the way to Doolittle, look out for the Mule Trading Post. It's got a giant hillbilly statue there, its arms spin around in the wind. This hillbilly was originally at a gift shop in Hooker Cut near the Devil's Elbow, which we're going to go to in a couple of minutes. Doolittle originally was called Centerville, but in 1944 the residents decided to rename the town after World War II Medal of Honor winner Jimmy Doolittle, who commanded the Doolittle bombing raid of Tokyo. Doolittle couldn't personally accept the honor till the war ended, and on October 10, 1946 he flew his own B-25 in for the ceremony that renamed the town for him. Now we got a treat coming up. We're headed to Devil's Elbow. Devil's Elbow got its name from a bend in the Big Piney River that has a boulder in the middle of it that would cause log jams for the logs being floated to mills that were making railroad ties. Folks said it was a devil of an elbow. And when you go to Devil's Elbow, you can hit the Elbow Inn. This is a roadhouse that dates back from 1929, and it's one of the great biker destinations anywhere. It has barbecue and all the other food you usually find in biker joints. This is a breastises alert. I repeat, this is a breastises alert. This is not a drill. This is not a drill.
The resurgence in the last 20 years of the interest in Route 66 in Europe as well as in the United States. But it has become a very, very desirable place for vacationers from all over the world. We've had guests here today from France, Italy, Australia, United Kingdom. Last night we had more than 40 that rode in on Harleys from Germany. Last evening about 6 o'clock. And this has become their destination. The big draw is to come and see these bras hanging on the ceiling of this bar. And they always want to know the story and always say it's just a biker thing. That's all I ever tell them. That's what it is. And they understand, I think. And the evening life here is pretty interesting.
Oh yeah, check that out. Thank God for bikes, bars, beers, broads, bras, and boobs. These are a few of my favorite things. All right, just up the road from Devil's Elbow, you're going to find Big Louie's in the town of St. Robert. Big Louie's got it all up there. He's got restaurants, he's got adult toy stores, he's got strip clubs, and he's got tattoo parlors. But Big Louie's cleaned his act up a little bit up there, and he recently changed the name of his little town to Uranus, Missouri, featuring the Uranus Fudge Factory. Their sign says, "The best fudge comes from Uranus." That's Big Louie's version of cleaning things up. But they have the Chicken Bones Party Bar up there, and that's a good popular spot for good food and watching sports. The next town is Waynesville. Just past the town line sign when you're going into Waynesville, look up the hill on the right-hand side and you'll see a rock that's painted like a giant frog. Locals call it W.H. Croker. There's an 1850 stagecoach stop in the town square. Hopper's Pub is the big place to go. The next town is Buckhorn, which was named for the long-gone Buckhorn Tavern, which also was a stage stop. There's not much in Buckhorn there today, but there is a giant bowling pin advertising some lanes right next to an adult superstore sign. I guess Route 66 lost some of its innocence through here. It's a pretty long ride between Buckhorn and Hazel Green, and there's not much out there except a rural road that crosses the 1923 Gasconade River Bridge. This is a beautiful ride through country that must look much like it did 3/4 of a century ago. On the way into Lebanon, you're going to pass the Lebanon I-44 Speedway. This is a 3/8 mile asphalt oval raceway. They claim that in any year, over a quarter of the Daytona 500 field once raced there. On the eastern edge of Lebanon, you're going to find the 1946 Munger Hotel. The sign is a knockoff from the original Holiday Inn sign. They have several renovated rooms with Route 66 themes, like a Route 66 room with nostalgic, Route 66 photos and mementos. They have a pretty and pink room dedicated to the Coral Court Motel, and they have a Texas room with prints from the renowned Route 66 artist Jerry McClanahan. He wrote the most popular Route 66 guidebook, and I sure wish I could sell as many copies of mine as he sells of his. Anyway, you can't get all the kicks you want to get on Route 66 unless you visit the Munger Motel. Wrink's Market, right down the street from the Munger was opened in 1950 by Glenn Wrinkle. This is a notable Route 66 spot that seems to open and close from time to time. Also in Lebanon, you can hit the Route 66 Museum at 915 Jefferson Street. The next 30 miles or so are going to take you through Phillipsburg, Conway, and Marshfield before you get to Springfield. There aren't any real classic Route 66 sites along here, but it's beautiful country riding and one of my favorite stretches of Route 66. Between Conway and Marshfield, you're going to come across Sorrell's Trading Post, which used to be Luthie's Buzz Inn, and before that, the Niangua Junction Store. Until recently, they sold liquor, beer, rudimentary groceries, snacks, and stuff like that, but it was closed the last time I went by, and no one seems to be able to keep it open more than a few months. Edwin Hubble, the inventor of the Hubble Space Telescope, is from Marshfield, and they have a replica of his telescope in the town square in front of the Webster County Museum. It's a smaller version of the original one, so it's a little bit of a disappointment, but it's a cool little town and worth going to see that. Despite its small size, Strafford has a proud Route 66 heritage, and each year it hosts the Route 66 Cruise and Route 66 Days, which features classic car shows. Okay, the next town is Springfield. When you get in there, on the corner of Glenstone and St. Louis Street, you're going to find the Rail Haven Motel. This is the best of the classic Route 66 motels in Springfield, and that's where I stay when I'm in Springfield. A little farther down St. Louis Street, you're going to find a vintage Steak and Shake, and you're going to find the 1926 Gillia's Theater. A few blocks past the theater, you're going to dead end into the town square. This square is the site of the first classic Wild West quick draw shootout. Wild Bill Hickok and Dave Tutt had a dislike for each other because they were both after the same chick. Tutt stole Wild Bill's watch and he bragged all over town he was going to wear it on the town square at an appointed time. When the time came, Wild Bill was waiting. Tutt drew on Bill and Bill shot him dead. There's a marker on the square telling you the story and commemorating the event. There's also an excellent new Route 66 museum on the square that's really worth seeing. It's one of the better ones along Route 66. When you get to the other side of the square, you're going to leave going down College Street and you're going to pass several old motor courts. Keep a lookout for the old Rock Fountain Court, which is now called the Melinda Apartments. They have 9 original cabins with stone veneers in a semicircle. It'll show you what old Route 66 motor courts look like. On College Street, there's also an interesting mosaic on a wall that's going to be on your left. And College Street also has the College Street Cafe and the College Street Body Shop that also have cool Route 66 signs. There's a bunch of interesting architecture along here, so take your time and just explore and enjoy. Okay, this is the end of the first leg of your third day on Route 66. The next video is going to take you from Springfield to Joplin, where you'll spend the night. But before you go to the next video, hit the subscriber button. You'll get notifications of when I post new videos and other info that you might otherwise miss. Also, as always, leave your comments. I'll read them all and do my best to respond to them. Insane Sam out, and I'll see you in a few minutes on the next video to get you to Joplin.